Don't worry, the podcast is going to start in less than a minute and everyone's going to be here, but I just wanted to announce something exciting. My show, Admiring Librarians, is going to be back to Montreal Fringe Festival in just a couple of weeks, from the June 5th to June 15th. If you don't know the show, last year they said it was vulnerable, honest, but also funny. And it's not going to be the exact same show as last year because it's going to be better. A lot of things are happening in the world. I'm going to address them more than ever. There are many good reasons to admire librarians. And who knows, maybe you'll see some of your favorite comedians opening for me. It's going to be June 5th to June 15th at the Petit Campus. Bye.
All right, podcast.
Somebody else start the introductions. It's always me.
I don't want to start.
No.
I'll start.
Okay.
I'll start. How are you, Eve? You just came back from...
Wait, that's not an introduction.
Well, it is kind of like
Okay,
a
sorry.
hello, how are you?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I have
My name
a bad
is...
reputation of cutting off women in this show. Okay, please. Start again.
I just had... look, I have genuine interest on how Eve is and
It's
after
fine.
her trip
No,
to the States.
we don't have to talk about it.
Oh my God, this is so toxic.
You're toxic.
Who's toxic? Everyone is.
A little bit.
And Cuz wearing shoes. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Breaking the rules of the house. I'm not sure if this is working well.
Oh, are we already fighting?
I think we're I think
this
the
is supposed
Throuples
to be
fighting.
us fighting.
Oh, I think we
Real
should try
talk
again.
moment. We were trying to fight with each other, and this is as far as we got.
Can we try again?
Three friends on a couch with an opinion. It's time for another session. We're not pros, but at least it's free. Better than your therapist. It's Throuples Therapy.
Hey, screw you. Sorry, that's not funny. Oh my God.
It was your idea. I
was
just
my
I just
idea.
wanted to
Okay.
I wanted to ask Eve about her trip.
Eve told me that everyone in LA is funnier than us.
Yeah, that's because she's a bootlicker of the Americans.
Guys,
I'm not
this
surprised.
hurts me. Both of those things are not true. Mostly. Just kidding. They're not true. You guys are so funny.
Yeah, we established that in the last episode.
Your people-pleasing tendencies are coming out again.
That
Yeah.
is true. That is 100% true. A tarot card told me I need to stop doing that.
People-pleasing?
Yeah. But then another tarot card said, keep going.
It's hard when you're a Libra.
I know. That is sort of in our nature to people please. And what's wrong with that? Huh? What's wrong with that?
Some people don't like when you're a people pleaser.
How
How are you gonna please them?
People don't like to be pleased? What's wrong
No.
with you?
Masochists.
But even then, it's like they're not being pleased because they like not being pleased.
If you say so.
Oh God.
I don't feel very pleased with this throuple right now.
What are we gonna do about it?
I think we need an intervention.
I think we need to call in our throuples therapist.
Oh my God.
Someone say therapist?
Oh my
Yes, it
God.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Our first guest.
Ever.
Ever.
Oh, I feel so special.
This is so exciting.
The one and only Rose-Ingrid Benjamin.
Meow, meow, meow. What's up, y'all?
Thanks for coming.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having me.
What's your opinion on therapy?
It changed my life.
Oh.
Actually, though. Yeah.
Do you want to share?
Oh, sure. I started therapy for the first time. We're just diving right in.
Yeah.
I was 29. No, 20. Yeah, 29. I was 28 going on 29. It was
Nice.
2016. I still thought I was straight.
Therapy makes you gay, everyone.
Therapy does
And-
make you gay.
I was still very much in love with Jesus.
Oh.
Yeah, and I had
Praise
a Christian
him.
therapist, but she was actually like a real therapist who also happened to be Christian.
Okay.
They're very rare, but they exist.
Wow.
And she called me out of my shit. She was like, "Why are you in ministry and Jesus is not a good enough answer?" And I was like, "I know."
Wait, but she was a Christian therapist, and she was like, "I don't think
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're cut out for this."
No. She was like, most people serve others in a healthy way. So like if you see someone drowning in the ocean, you're going to go find a boy or call the 911, not jump into the ocean yourself and harm yourself. And so until you handle your bullshit, you can't help anyone else. You're better off taking time off, healing your wounds. And if you want to have a long-term career in helping people, then you could do that. And she was right. She's also a black woman, which tracks. Yeah. And then 8 months later, she asked me to Google emotional abuse and read it out loud to her.
Wow.
And when did she tell you were gay?
That's what I was gonna
Oh,
ask.
she never did. But that was what started the thing. I was like, oh shit, I was abused as a child because immigrant parents, they were just being tough. But that was what led me to leave church and be like, oh, I don't have to go to church to be a Christian, which led to me like leaving town, which led to me waking up one day and be like, I don't believe in God. And then theater and shit. And then one day I was like, this is kind of fruity.
Something fruity in the air.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it the theater? Is it the
Hold on.
leaving God?
I know the theater
the
is a
therapy.
real like. Is a theater
Which was
therapy.
first, the gayness or the theater?
Theater was first.
Of course, it always is.
That being
makes
said,
much
though,
sense.
I look back and like a bunch of my friends were out when I was in church. Like they left church for being queer. And so a lot of people came out to me. Even like I was a youth pastor, all the teenagers, like trans kid came out to me, the closeted lesbian came out to me, and I was like, ally.
Okay, but did you look this gay in this era?
Okay, so I had a
Ally.
mohawk for a good amount of time. Like I used to chemically straighten my hair, and so like I like had a full on mohawk. I had a side shave at one point with one
Whoa.
side, and it was fire truck red on the other.
Okay, you're such
I-
a cool youth pastor.
I had a lip piercing.
Oh my god.
I look back and I go, some of that shit was kind of gay. Like
Some
the
of it.
2007, 8, like collared shirt with the like lacy tank top on top and the skinny tie.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And the board shorts and the fedora. Yeah, the closet was glass and everyone knew but me, but it's all good.
And
Wow.
him, he knew too.
Oh, the Lord always knew. I was like, I'm just really focused on Jesus. I just don't want to date anybody because I'm like filled with the Spirit. I'm just celibate because I'm saving it for marriage. I don't want him or any of these guys because I'm just stronger than you.
Wow. I had a youth group era also. I actually converted my parents to Christianity
Shame
from
on
No
you.
Buddhism.
way.
What?
Yeah. I told them that they would all go to hell if they didn't start going to church because during my Christian era. And then they started going to church and they became Christians
Are
and
they-
are still Christians.
Oh, no.
But that was my fault.
You couldn't get them out of it on the other
No,
end too.
and I got out of it because of the gay thing also.
course.
Which also funny story, which I've told you to before, but I've never said on this podcast, and I want to tell you. But I started going to a gay youth group after my church youth group era, and it was like every Friday night, and I would lie to my parents and say that I was going to church youth group, and then one time my parents followed me. They stalked me there because they didn't trust me. And then they showed up like on Davie Street in Vancouver, rainbow sidewalks. And then they got there and they're like, we're outside. You have to come down and see us right now. And I was terrified. And I told there's like an older trans woman who was running the queer youth group. And I was like, my parents don't know. They think I'm at a church youth group, da da da. And she went downstairs and convinced my parents that like this 6 foot tall woman convinced my parents that she was the youth pastor
Okay,
at the
I don't
Christian-
understand why that's not believable.
Christian youth group, and that there was no parents allowed upstairs, but that we were studying the Bible, and they bought
Wait.
it.
Amazing, but wait, it was a youth group.
It was a queer youth group, like
But
an
it wasn't-
LGBTQ.
But it was
Jesus.
Christian.
But it wasn't
Because
Jesus.
there are
Oh,
Jesus
oh,
queer
oh.
youth groups.
No, it was a regular
Right,
youth
right,
group.
right,
She was
right.
just pretending to be the pastor
That's hilarious.
to get
Wow.
because I was like I was like crying. I was like, my parents don't know I'm gay. Like da da da.
Oh.
And she was like, okay, I got this. I'm gonna handle this.
I love that. And honestly, shout out to youth pastors who get it. Like, I didn't fully get it, but I remember vividly one of my youth kids calling me one day, and she was 16, and she's like, I like girls. And I was like, cool. You can't tell your parents. I love you. God loves you. We'll figure it out. I didn't have a theology. I didn't fully understand it yet, but I knew that that's what needed to happen. And she's super cool now and like polyamorous and being and queer and happy and
Still a Christian?
no. And her parents hate my guts, but
my
you know.
gosh.
Well, because also when I left, even though like her parents, like I used to hang out at their house all the time, you know, like I had no parents, so they're like to bring in young people and whatever, then feed them and shit. But because to them it was like a pastor falling aside. So even though they had full on other kids who were doing crazy shit at their home all the time, because to them it was like a leader leaving, then I became a liability, and I was no longer allowed near their kids who were all adults.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so badass.
I guess so. Yeah, I got a little hate mail back in the day too. That was
Wow.
sexy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I cried that day.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's tough.
But you know, now we're out here. We're free.
I feel like God is making a comeback.
Well, yes,
Not like that, but like I feel like I know a lot of people who've become religious again.
that's what happens
Like
when
recently.
conservatism comes back. Like we're seeing skinniness come back,
Oh.
and people are scared, and so faith feels comfortable, and because it's strict and there's
There's the rules.
rules. We all self-medicate somehow.
But even like the queers, I
Whoa.
feel like I know a lot of like radical anarchist queers going back to like Catholicism.
Well, you know who was the.
Catholicism?
Yeah.
I
No,
feel like that.
Catholicism?
Or Christianity. I
Okay,
don't know.
because Catholicism, I mean, the Pope, who's supposed to be all progressive and nice, compared trans people to the atomic bomb. Not in a nice way.
Not in a nice way.
And he could have.
What is the nice way to compare trans people to
Trans
the atomic
people
bomb?
are the bomb. You know? Like, he didn't mean it that way.
There's literally a Haitian French song where it's a love song, and this man's talking about how like his love is like Hiroshima.
Yeah.
The line is what? L'Hiroshima de mon cœur.
Oh my
Je
god.
t'aime.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Haitians are weird.
I went to a karaoke with a bunch of like queer Asians after our contemporary dance show recently in the Village, and this man got on stage and sang China Girl by David Bowie. I don't know if you've ever heard this song
No, I
before,
haven't, but we can
but
fill in the
it was
blanks.
it was David Bowie had this song that was like, I want my little China girl, be quiet, my little China girl, don't say anything. And it was literally like at one point in the lyrics they're like, I want to give you a blue-eyed baby.
Wow.
And then
Wow.
we started booing him, and then
Straight to jail.
then there was a huge fight that erupted, and people were talking furiously at each other, and then other
Wow.
people got involved, and I was like, oh no, a race war is gonna break out in Normandy, everyone.
Were
It's gonna be
there
karaoke. That
were
starts
there
it.
any
Yeah.
any Catholics involved?
No, I really do feel like that there's probably a trend between like recession and depression and return to religious, or just like the idea of having this like strict, stagnant thing that they can hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
Though, don't do it.
I agree.
And I'm like, look, I understand why Christianity can be attractive, but whatever the shit that they're peddling is not the thing that's attractive. Like the radical Palestinian Jew who literally overthrew a whole establishment so bad that the police killed him is not what most Christians worship. So walk away from that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you want community? That's right here. Like, if
I know.
you
Choose
have to-
polyamory.
right? Yeah. go to theater.
Yeah.
Try BDSM.
Truly, I don't know. Go to
Yes.
karaoke.
That's not that far off.
BDSM and religion.
Well, because so much of BDSM is about
Religion.
religion, like the religious acts, like the whole Catholicism and like self-flagellation led to the way that BDSM is now.
Okay.
I took a
I
queer
don't-
theory class once.
Look, I don't want to disclose too much of my years in very Catholic school.
Oh.
Ooh.
Because I'm actually traumatized by that in a way that I haven't fully processed.
Mm.
But like I had teachers that did all kinds of like self-harm for religious purposes.
Whoa.
Jeez.
Like they were wearing like these little metal things
Yeah.
inside the leg that would like make them bleed a little bit. and
Yeah.
were hurting themselves for God. I mean, I guess that's kink, no?
Yes, exactly. Wow.
I was just Pentecostal. We just rolled on the floor and laughed like we were high for Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know,
I did a lot of
holy
like
laughter.
performance in the when I was in church. Like
Me
I did
too.
one. I think I did one number to like a Mariana's Trench song where like someone was like it was like someone played the devil and someone played God, and I was like being puppeted, and I was like it was like a miming situation, and then at one point I start like injecting drugs.
Wait,
Like, the
whoa.
devil
like
takes me over.
Is that because there's a trend from like the 2000s, the early 2000s, where people did a lot of that, but it was to the song "Everything" by Lifehouse.
No, mine was Celebrity Status. I'm pretty sure.
The thing is, they let you do it to a non-Christian song. That's wild.
Yeah, it was a but I think it was part of the pact that the non-Christian song was part of the like the like
Devil.
the devil
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing.
Progressive
I was
church.
being pulled. Yeah, I mean it was and then they were like I was like being puppeted and doing drugs, and then God saves me,
Wow.
and then it's
That was done at every youth group,
yeah.
like across North America, mostly to Lifehouse.
Wow.
Yes, they're YouTube it. It exists. There's a
Wow.
million versions of the Lifehouse, like being puppeted by the devil.
Wow.
And if someone's offering you a drink or
Yeah,
whatever, then
exactly.
you throw
That's
it back,
exactly.
And then Jesus comes and like blows it all away.
That's exactly what it was. I was
yeah.
this.
Whoa.
Oh,
The
yeah.
power of theater.
Hallelujah.
I played Jesus once in a like Christian
Oh my God.
play thing.
Is there proof of this? I need to see.
I like there actually might be, but I remember it was like a I think it was like a nativity like reenactment, or maybe it was Easter or something. Anyway, but I remember being so freaked out about it. Like there was something in my body that was like, this is wrong
To play Jesus?
to play Jesus, or
Wow.
for gender reasons. But I
Yeah, you're like,
preferred
I
it.
wanted to be Mary instead.
Which one?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's two.
There's two.
There's
two
Mary, the
Mary,
mother of
of
Jesus.
Joseph. Yeah.
There's Mary Magdalene, the alleged sex worker.
They're
who-
both named
who-
Mary.
Yes, who wiped his feet with her hair.
Wow.
She poured out her like
Oh.
beautiful, like oil or whatever perfume at his feet,
Oh.
and everyone's like, "Why are you worshiping like that?" Martha's like, "Come help in the kitchen," and Mary's like, "No, I just want to worship Jesus."
Wow.
On
That's
his feet.
kink.
Yeah. You know what really is kink? Ruth and Boaz.
Ruth and Boaz.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is fucking nichey, but
Oh, I
Old
love
Testament.
this. Wow, we're going to the Old Testament.
So growing up at church, you'd be like, go get your Boaz, like go get your spiritual man. But Ruth was married. Her husband died, so she stayed with her mother-in-law and like immigrated to her homeland with her because she's like, I want to stay with you. But they need a man to cover them because without a man, you're not a person, right? And so Ruth's mother-in-law was like, go to the field, grab a little grain. My cousin Boaz, he owns it. He'll let you do it so we can eat. And so Ruth goes out there, but Ruth's mother-in-law has a plan to essentially get her daughter-in-law married to her cousin, her older cousin. And so Ruth essentially eventually lays at his feet, and he like sees her at his feet, and he marries, and they're in the line of Jesus. Like that's the whole idea, is that she's in the bloodline of Jesus because of her obedience. Well, some folks would say that laying at your feet is like euphemism for other things. There are theologians who believe this, that Ruth actually
Wow.
just sucked dick for a man.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Which I love,
Feminism.
Wow.
right? She tasted of his fruit, and then
Tasted of his.
she became
oh,
Wow.
for
she
sure.
became part of Jesus' bloodline. So suck dick if you want to be one with Christ.
Wow. I must be so close to Christ. I'm so holy.
Okay, I have a story that I need to tell you.
Me specifically.
But I need everyone else. I need everyone. I have been waiting to tell this story. That really reminded me of it. I've been waiting to tell this story until I saw you and we were recording because, okay, you babysat my apartment for a month.
Yes. Are we going to talk about what I did in that apartment? Because I don't know if I want
Yes.
that public. Okay.
But not like,
Apologies.
not like specifically, but I had recently, I had a date with this guy. Date, is it a euphemism? Yeah.
Oh, no. Don't know.
And after,
No.
crucially after, he was like, do you have a roommate?
No.
And I was like, no. And he was like, okay, because I've like been to this apartment before. Like I was here a few weeks ago. And I was like, oh my God. Good, I slept with the same man in the same bed.
I love that you're fucking.
Yeah, this is a real throuple, folks. Real throuple.
Oh my god, I wondered if this was gonna happen.
I
to
know.
be
We
honest.
talked about it being like, someone's gonna come over and be like, I've been here before.
Wow,
it
that's
literally
so
happened.
funny.
Manifested that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so funny.
Do you know who I'm talking
I
about?
don't know which one it was. I mean,
Oh my god.
Which one?
wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you heard the whole Jesus is trans thing? That my friend Heathcliff told me about. There's this theory that Jesus is trans because if Jesus was born
Because the
from
long hair? It's
No.
been typecasting.
Actually, because of if he was born through immaculate conception with Mary, then there would be no one to provide a Y chromosome. So therefore, he must have X chromosomes and technically been born female, and therefore
I'm
Jesus
down
is
for
a
it.
trans man.
Didn't just Mary
I don't know,
maybe
I
just like cheat and didn't want to
I
admit
feel like
it?
that's going too far. Do we really need to claim that for any?
Well, wait, there's not a lot of trans masculine representation out there. Okay,
So you
Some
need
people
Jesus
do. No, I mean, maybe not us, but I guess there are folks who are like into that. There's actually like a lot of like queer theology and queering of the Bible and shit like that. The eunuch, being a queer representation. I'm not like deep into those things these days, but there are folks out
Don't
there.
mess with that stuff.
I am no longer practicing and no longer believe, and so to me, I don't need the book to validate my fucking existence. And so like even when I was hanging out with like progressive queer Christians, I was like, y'all are still using the same book that's used to like make to bully a lot of people for a plethora of reasons, and you're reading it the same way but just finding your like angle into it. And I'm like, this approach to the Bible is still, you could be like, yeah, I'm pro trans and queer, but you're still racist based on the way you're approaching that shit. But there are a lot of folks that, I mean, I have friends, a lot of them are Americans actually. They're all queer. They went to seminary. They're out here living their best lives, and their life's mission is to like decolonize and deconstruct the biblical text through queer theory and all that shit. And I'm like, good for you.
Ever roll a joint with a Bible page?
No, but if you want to, I have kept a few just for posterity. But TLDR, like, I see how like it is fully harmful for me. Even if Jesus was fucking real and showed up tomorrow, like, I'm the Lord, I would still not want to be affiliated with that because I'm like, my people did not become Christians by choice. I'm the child of I'm the descendant of enslaved people, like through oppression and violence is how Christianity came to the Caribbean. Truly, let's be really, really honest. And also, I'm cool. I'm okay. Yeah. So I feel that.
Yeah, woke Jesus isn't enough.
Also,
Even
Jesus
Jesus
doesn't
got
need
woke.
me to fucking worship him.
Yeah, it's got
Like
enough.
what a self-serving deity that desperately needs my worship.
Canceled.
Please, if I'm not canceled already.
Anxious attachment, Jesus.
No, your God is he runs the entire universe, but needs you so bad to worship him, to like get on your knees and bow before him. I'm like, sounds like a white man to me.
I was gonna say it doesn't sound trans. Sounds like a cis man to me.
Oh
Truly.
my God.
Take back what I said. Did you have something to say, Raquel?
No, I mean, to your original question, that is such a classic, edgy teenage move. I love that. That gave me
To smoke a joint with a Bible page?
yeah. That's gave me cool flashbacks.
Yeah.
Did you ever do it?
Oh yeah, multiple times, but not out of
Wow.
like angst.
Ooh.
More so out of just like not having rolling papers.
And what kind of Bible? Wait, what kind of Bible?
Having a
was it?
Bible?
Yeah,
Was
because
it
the
a
paper.
KJV?
I think it was like it was one that I was gifted to me that was pink. It was supposed to be like the women's Bible.
Oh my God, not the women's Bible.
I love that.
How
But the paper is kind of like thin.
It's in the
Yeah,
back.
so
It's
it's got
perfect
true.
paper.
It's true.
I need to understand what makes a Bible a woman's Bible. What's in there?
So
Praise her.
So there's women's Bibles, there's men's Bibles, there's teen Bibles. Okay.
Where's the NB Bible?
We should make one. But like essentially, like they'll like write little extra like 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 your textbook, a little purple, little here's encouragement for young women and for young men. Be like, bounce your eyes, don't look at booty, or how to be holy and pure, or how to be a good wife, or how to be a good husband, or how to obey your parents. Like the thematic lessons for that audience. It's a great way to make money because the Bible's already there and you can't copyright it. So you could make your version of it so that you can sell it to folks. It's a
girl boss Christianity.
I don't know. Capitalism's everywhere.
Wow. I'm loving this perspective that's bringing into Throuples therapist. We have our own ex-Christian therapist.
I can't believe we're all ex-Christians also.
Are we all ex-Christians?
Yeah.
Oh, you too?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I
played Jesus. You thought I just like walked into a church and was like, I need the stage.
Jesus
Mine was like a stint though. Mine was like a little blip, like a phase. It was very short.
Mine too, but we are the symbol of like this godless society. This is like
so true.
what the world is coming to.
You should call my pastor and be like, the exorcism didn't work. It backfired. We're all
more like X on my passport. Sorry, I was stupid.
And I liked it. Don't shit on yourself.
Thank you.
Enjoy your joke.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are we gonna bring up? I want to hear your angsty song that you brought with you, Eve.
Okay.
Oh.
Because last episode, if you recall, 2 weeks ago, hopefully if I remember this order, we talked about our embarrassing early 20s performance art phase. And actually, I think Rose-Ingrid also has a history of early 20s embarrassing, specifically Jesus rock.
I was a worship leader and a spoken word artist.
Oh, I would love to hear some
Wow.
Jesus spoken
I used
word.
to slam, and then and at the time I was very religious, so I slammed like in mainstream slam spaces, but with my Jesus poems.
Wow.
I would go to this bar. I didn't drink, and I would do my poems about Jesus.
Wow, do
And
you
I
have
actually
any of
made
them
the
on you?
semi-
Okay, we have some Jesus poems here. Eve's got some
Oh
performance
damn! I was hoping
art.
you'd forget.
Oh, we want to forget? I'm
No, I'll do
ready.
it.
I have
to grab
my little
computer,
notebook.
though.
Let me see what I can find.
Okay, I'm gonna get my thing.
I have mine also. It's
Jesus
it's
poetry.
so cringy though.
Yo, I toured on that shit, man.
You toured?
Yeah.
Your Jesus slam poetry?
And music, yeah, man. Some random
Wow.
like Christian nonprofit in the States called the Extreme Tour found me online and like, we have this tour. We do. Want to come join us?
Wow.
And I caravan through the States during the Trump election in 2016.
Whoa.
As the only Canadian with a bunch of Americans. Oh yeah, it was fucking scary. Like
Doing
I was,
Christian slam poetry.
and yeah, and I hosted all the shows, and we
Wow.
were like in like skate parks and like on bridges and in parks and singing improv Jesus songs and shit.
Did people throw things at you, or was it
No, it was actually
people
quite
were
wholesome.
people loved it?
they.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's
'Kay.
America.
Yeah.
You know, we were in like Fort Wayne, Indiana.
But
and,
you were
like,
invited. You didn't just like show up at a random skate
No,
park
no,
and
so,
start
like-
doing.
Oh my god.
I thought you were just like
No,
showing up to
there's
the
a skate
Van
park.
Horn skate park and just started doing
There's a
Jesus
giant-
slam
There's
poetry.
this place, I think in Minneapolis, these kids want, like, there's like a carpet store that got closed down, and these kids wanted a skate park, so they kept praying that they would get their own skate park, and then someone donated like tons of cash to open this indoor skate park, and it's attached to like, they have, like
Christian skate park.
yeah, and they give like free showers to homeless people and food and shit like
That's
that.
pretty cool.
And so we like slept in the skate park because they didn't have anywhere for us to stay,
Wow.
and then we performed in it. Yeah,
Crazy.
the lady was really nice. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, but yeah,
Wow.
skate park for Jesus. And then
skate for
and
Jesus.
And then we were in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and some like random lady wanted to bring like Jesus music to her neighborhood, and so we stopped by and performed on a stage on a bridge in Fort Wayne,
Wow.
and in her park. Introduced her to her black neighbor she had never really met. The Lord bridged the graces together.
Yes. Doing the Lord's work, literally.
You know, where did we go? I was in Madoc, Georgia, in a group home. That was interesting. They were like, we want to keep her, and I was like, oh no, ma'am, you don't. You know, I'm like, I was still a Christian, but way too Canadian for this shit. Like, y'all are crazy. Yeah, Madoc, Georgia. We were in Alabama.
Wow.
It was. I was like, I'm scared of becoming a hashtag.
wow. Yeah.
It was 2016, and like me and a bunch of black men from across the U.S. were in these trucks driving down the highway.
Wow.
One of them was fresh out of jail, and I was like,
Let's go.
all right, for the Lord. Made no
For
money.
the Lord. Not for the cash.
Oh God, no. That's
Okay.
not-
Eve, you want to go
Go,
first?
do it.
while
Okay,
Rose-Ingrid
so
looks up?
This is so humiliating. This is a song I found this morning called New Name / End of the World. It's I think this is from 2015 or something. It was right around the time I was so gender confused and really wanted to like choose a new name, I think, but it felt so scary, and I also thought I was so poetic and cool, and also my singing is so fucking terrible. But here we go. Oh no.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love this.
I love the pad.
Yeah, the pad's
synth.
great. I got a beat that comes in at some
Would you
point.
perform this live?
What's your name?
What's your
What do you do? Where's home for you? How did I find you? You know this world's crumbling apart around us.
This world is crumbling apart.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna
Who do you
do?
trust?
We need the interpreter.
Gonna dance now.
The world's falling apart around us.
The world's
What will
falling
you
around
do?
us.
What will be your job?
I would pay money to see a video of this
What
song.
will you call yourself?
Live.
Oh, no, active.
The world's
Yeah,
crumbling
yeah.
around us.
The world's crumbling around. It literally all I say is the world's crumbling around us. What will you do?
How old were you?
Who will you be? What's your name gonna be? Ba 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 ba
That's
ba.
deep shit.
That's
Thank
not so
you.
bad. That's not so bad.
Okay, wow.
That's not the worst of the cringe, I feel like. Wow.
I was 24 or something.
Okay.
I can like picture being in the jam space where I made it and being so emo and sad. And then one night I played a song and I like sobbed because I was so sad and like gender confused. And then I left the jam space and there was a jam space right next door. And the people like came out at the same time and they could hear everything that I was doing.
Wow.
So they heard me like sob.
Oh.
That's so sad.
Wow. Not the worst. You ready?
Okay, wow,
I'm
that
ready.
wasn't as humiliating as I thought it
So-
was
Not
going to
that humiliating at all. I was like, I'm not going there.
Back in the day when I discovered slam, I was like, everyone has a slam name. I need a slam name. So I went by Grace Defined.
Oh.
Because like my
Brilliant.
mom's last name is Gracia, and I was like, that's Grace in Italian or whatever. And also, I'm defined by the grace of Jesus.
Yes.
And I put out an EP called This Love. This is the cover art.
Oh, gorgeous.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, shout out to
Oh, y'all are not that cringe. I was like, I've got my little angsty 20-year-old poems.
the album is called This Love. There's and I recorded some spoken word pieces in like someone's studio like that he built in his attic in Kingston.
Okay, red flag.
The
Just kidding.
he's also a pastor in the Upper Room Studios. Let's see the opening track. It's called Love's World.
Can you hold it to
Welcome to a world of Maybelline and make believe you can be. All you can be, live the life and dream the dream. Welcome to a world where TV is reality and the real world, nothing but a reverie. Welcome to freedom equals sex, and worth is nothing more than a pickup line and one drink more. Welcome to a world where the lines are always blurred and shades of gray paint every driveway. Here, insanity reigns, though we feign to believe that we're all quite sane. Welcome to my world. Here we believe that love is a lie, though we dare to dream of a time that love was alive. In this world, Bieber can mend a broken heart, but God, he can't be real. No, he's just a crush for us to hide behind. Welcome to our world. Here hope is fleeting, purpose obsolete, and yet we were made for more. At least we should be, or so we hope, deep down in places we rarely choose to see. For this is a world where we're always lonely, hiding our pain and our shame behind layers of trickery, painting our lives with shades of happy that merely seem but do not resonate. For this is a temporary die, a fix for the moment that had the lives that are our lives as we gasp for opposite. A real reality, something more than a soundbite, something bigger than MTV. So welcome to a world where contradiction is the way, freedom is at play, and tomorrow is just another day. Welcome to a world through the eyes of a generation that knows too much and seen too much and still knows nothing at all. Drowning in a sea of information yet has no truth at all. Here, rose-colored glasses mask the eyes of a cynic, and wit and cliche had a heart torn apart. Battered and bruised, abused and used, it cries out for another world.
Oh my god. Okay.
I miss slam poetry.
I know. I was really taken away by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my slam era. I used to like literally go to church early and like sit in the pews and like pray that God would like give me
Slam poetry.
like that he would
Speak
like
through you.
inspire my writing.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I was like, there's these incredible. I'm like, I wanna write what you wanna write. 'Cause I wanna write like that. Because I was like writing like just emo poetry, but
Wow.
I wanted to write like spoken word. And that's yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So both of us brought cringe examples, which were actually
They're
totally fine and
Totally
amazing.
good. Oh no, that's not fair.
But we did it. I bet yours. I bet it's not going to be as bad
I
as
bet
you
you it's not
think.
that cringe.
Okay, let's see.
By the way, I'm so glad that everything cringe I wrote when I was younger was in Spanish, so I can't share it here.
We'll translate. No.
Okay, we'll see. Well,
I'll
I don't
fix
know. I'm
it
just
in the
gonna pick a random-
translation.
I haven't even read. I haven't read these in like 9 years. I think.
You got this.
All right, let's see what this one is.
This
It
is
says,
so brave of you.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
Please.
I'm
Be
just gonna
brave.
Pick a paragraph, I guess. What is this? Okay. Oh my god. This
I
is
love-
do
I
we
just
want
saw
a
"Don't
long-
Cry, My Child."
Do we want a long one or do we want okay, we're just gonna go.
Give us
Give
a
us a
little
piece of your
Here we
heart.
go.
Yeah.
I shattered from the pressures of gravity, jagged edges of a bottle, pouring one last drink, liquid confidence for the lowest of self-esteem. Locked inside a lavender room, they told me I was a danger to myself and others. A child that never knew safety is an adult who must learn how to be safe. To repair yourself from a lineage of broken mothers is to unlearn toxic intimacy. How do you be soft when you were raised to have tough skin? How do you process your feelings when you were never allowed to cry? How do you understand yourself when home was a place your parents escaped, so you were destined to run away?
cut.
Whatever. I
Okay.
feel like this just means that we need to do a show where we just perform our angsty 20 stuff.
I think this just means we have low self-confidence because actually
None
the
of us said
artistic
that.
output was all great.
But
That was beautiful.
I just feel like I can't make art like that anymore. That
Yeah.
is
Because
you're so self-conscious,
I mean,
right?
we're all stand-up comedians now. You know, it's not really this. Like, you're being vulnerable, but
Right.
it's like it's different.
Yeah,
You're
it's
not.
so true.
It's like it's not. It's like I don't know. You know, it's not like emotional trauma dumpy. Vulnerable.
I also just feel like there's like certain you're in your 20s. There's a certain youthful like about
Totally.
life, you know. Also, I mean, I know you tell me about to date myself, but like cell phones didn't do much back then. So I didn't have to worry about anyone filming my shit and
That's
putting it on
so
the internet.
true.
Like, look, we tell the Gen Zs all the time, like, y'all don't understand. The club used to be lit, right? Because you used to go out dancing in your little Sunday best in your business cash, and then you sweat it all off because no one cared,
Yeah.
right? People are talking about because Coachella just happened. And like no one dances anymore because they're all scared of being perceived. Whereas back in the day, we were out being cringe and being weird and being silly and being ourselves and exploring and trying new things, but didn't have to worry about it being cement. Maybe there's a digital camera somewhere. Maybe it's in someone's like Facebook, album from 2005. But other than that, no one gave a fuck, and that's kind of freeing.
And even if people did document it, it's not like it was gonna go viral. It's not like anyone could go viral at any moment, which is what we live in now.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you were performing at least just for your friends,
Right? Or, for a bunch of random at the spoken word bar, and who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe we just need to tap into that. Write like no one's watching.
But I also feel like I'm just like on antidepressants now, and I don't need to like make art like that anymore because I'm just actually way happier.
That's hella fair.
Yeah, and
Less
that was
angsty.
pre-transition too, so like the angst
Do you feel cringe when you watch art like that now, or do you still feel moved by it?
from other people.
Yeah.
Everyone should do everything they want.
Yeah, that is.
I don't want to yuck anyone's yum about art.
What? We should bring back art criticism. People need criticism.
You're so right. Okay, so no, I think it can be great. I think it can be so moving. It's just not always necessarily moving and great. I feel like there was an era where a lot of people were doing, including me, to be crystal freaking clear, doing poetry that wasn't even like poetry. It was just like a rant that you should talk to your therapist about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it was really like, I'm sad and because I have trauma about this thing that happened to me. And then people, that's that I cringe at.
As a poet, go ahead.
No, I think that most good art, whatever feelings that you talk about, there has to be a degree of you have processed them. You
Yes.
can't just vomit it raw.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
I
just a
don't
metaphor.
slam anymore. Like slam is the competitive form of spoken word. But once in a while, people be like, "Want to perform?" Like, yeah, you pay me enough. I'll come do some spoken word for you. And as someone who used to competitively do it, I have no cause to say a lot of that shit's cringe. No, I'm sorry. Whiteness took over spoken word and
so
watered
true.
the fuck down
100%.
out of it. I'm sorry. There's Canadian spoken word has look. I'm not the only one. I just might just be the only one saying it out loud in public, but like. It has roots in something, right? The griots and just like in urban black spaces, and then a bunch of white folks of all stripes discovered it and built careers around it. And I think it watered down what it could be. And you get on these like YouTube or on TikTok and you see some of these I'm like, I have a feeling my mom was a nice to me. She told me to eat my peas. I'm like, fuck off. Like, I don't give a fuck.
And I said to my mom,
Right?
what peas are within and without. I want broccoli.
And like, it used to be that I could tell who you rolled with based on how you sounded.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could tell like who inspired your poetry across the country or online based on like your delivery. I'm like, oh yeah. You know what I loved about spoken word is that it was about like owning your voice. And it was just so weird to be like, you just sound like fucking homie over here, and he does it better because it's him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vulnerable moment for me.
Please.
I did slam a couple times, but I stopped because I was bad at it. And also because I literally was just copying a friend of mine, and she very graciously told me that,
I love that.
and it was really good for me. But like,
Real friendship.
Yeah, it was really just like I was,
Wow.
I was 22. I was trying to figure out how to be an
Yeah.
artist or whatever. But I was definitely just copying a friend, and
But also
doing
so
really
good on
bad
you to be like,
poetry.
oh, let me receive that.
yeah.
Because some people are like,
I don't know if I was
do it
that
better.
as gracious as I'm presenting it now. But
You're like, why are you
Oh, yeah,
telling
you
me
were
this? I'm
wonderful.
just.
I'm just trying to process my pain. Are you seeing my pain doesn't have value?
yeah.
I feel like I would be so ridiculous if I started doing spoken word right now.
Can you please give us a little
I feel
verse?
like-
Yeah.
Can you give us
Yeah.
It would
Yeah.
be like, my lower back hurts. It hurts a lot. And I don't like my hair. I'm tired.
You know,
That's the kind of that's
not bad. You just need to
Kind of brilliant.
add a little cadence and maybe a couple of
Yeah.
interesting rhymes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I bet you someone out there is gonna write that and be like, 10 out of 10 at the slam.
Yeah, no, I have this thing, like I hate taking myself too seriously. I don't know if that's something I should discuss in actual therapy, but there's always that's why I never I was fully interested in spoken word. Like I always like to have a little bit of irony to it.
Mhm.
And with my comedy, I think I'm vulnerable and stuff, but like being fully earnest about my feelings, I have a hard time doing it.
This is why we're comedians.
Yes.
though.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is why
Yeah.
we went from poetry to comedy because it's more fun.
So this episode is not only the first one we do with a guest, it's also really exciting because it's the first one where we got a sponsor.
Yes.
Yes, the podcast is growing. I don't know if you've seen all these podcasts of straight comedians that get sponsorships from online sports betting. Well, I have to say that we got our own one.
Ooh.
Yes. I really like this episode was brought to you by betontranssports.com. Are you transmasculine and do you want to feel some gender euphoria? Now you can lose all of your savings by betting on sports like most men.
Oh my God.
betontranssports.com. We're introducing new types of betting. Now you can bet on what's going to be the next women's sports that misogynists will pretend to be interested in. betontranssports.com. And if you want to make easy money, just bet on trans women. We'll always win. That was betontranssports.com.
Promo
proud
code Throuples
sponsor.
Therapy.
Use the promo code Throuples for 10% off now.
Use Throuples Therapy for 10% off your first transvestigation bet.
We love to make money from.
But if you do want to sponsor the podcast,
Hey, we're here.
get in touch.
DM us at Throuples Therapy Pod.
Yeah.
Mm.
Should we do real trauma, fake trauma?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's time for.
Real trauma, fake trauma.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
You's
That's
gonna
gonna be
sample
fun to
that?
sample with and put right here.
Real trauma, fake trauma.
Okay.
Tell us.
Oh, okay.
Wait, this is a segment on the show for anyone who's somehow just listening now. That where we have a story and we have to decide if it's a real trauma or a fake trauma.
Okay.
Obviously.
It's not that deep. I was at Côte
Great.
Neige, and I was walking back. I know it's. I'm a simple person. Okay. Walking back from Jean Coutu, and realized that I really had to go take a dump.
Sounds like an Eve fake trauma, real
I
trauma
feel
to
so
me.
seen already.
And I was like, all right, cool. Let me hurry home, and I didn't make it home,
Okay.
and I shot myself.
That's so brave of you to say. And I thank you for that. As someone who's almost done that too.
Yeah.
Do you have IBS?
No.
Any sort of dietary lactose intolerance, gluten intolerance,
No. I mean, a
life
little-
intolerance?
Don't we all?
Oh
I used to fast a lot, so now dairy and me have like mixed feelings because I went on a lot of Daniel fasts for Jesus for the kingdom, and so I would eat no meat and no dairy and nothing for a month, and then, yeah, for the saving of the souls of students across Canada.
I love that
Um,
this isn't your trauma that you're bringing.
No,
Actually,
and
by the
so
time I shot myself.
after fasting multiple times over the course of the year, I noticed that dairy and me weren't the same.
Okay. And was this like a little poop yourself or like a big poop yourself?
It was a decent poop yourself.
Oh my god.
Well, did anyone see you?
No.
How long since it happened until you were able to get home and change?
Like, barely made it at the door.
Oh.
Okay. Oh god.
And how has this trauma shaped your life today?
Irreversibly damaged.
Great question, by the way.
That really is a good question. Yeah, never the same.
Because you know Eve is a poopy girl.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
I've flooded many basements, including 2 church basements. Go back to episode 1 if you want to hear about that.
You talk about irreversible damage. Does that make you be more conservative when eating, or do you feel like when you're at when you have a bathroom, a reachable bathroom, you feel like I gotta use it more often?
I now have a fear of pooping in public.
Oh. Have you ever told anyone about this before?
I was just gonna ask that. Yeah.
Not in a long time.
Wait, when did it happen?
A very long time ago.
Oh.
Did you start this by saying the other day?
Oh.
No, I said I was walking
No,
down.
I
was
don't think so. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just,
I
trying,
just-
to, I'm just
Côte
trying to catch you.
Côte
I know.
Neige.
I just said I was at Côte Neige. Walking
Okay.
back from Jean Coutu.
This is good. Usually I feel like I have a good sense, but I feel stuck because I feel like either it's so vulnerable that it's got to be fake, or it's so vulnerable that it's got to be
true.
real.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I feel like those are my two. Like it's either
Those
way.
are in fact the 2 options of this game.
But you
Hold
know
on,
what I mean?
either this is true.
But you know what I
This
mean?
is like true trauma or
Or
fake trauma.
This is
No,
fake.
okay,
The name of the
don't.
show.
I'm a himbo. I like. No, like I mean, like it's so vulnerable that
True.
either you're hiding behind the fact that it's fake,
You're hiding
Or-
behind the poop.
you can't make up something that real. Trauma.
As if no one's ever pooped themselves in public before.
I mean, I think it's just because I've peed myself in public before, and it haunts me. I don't tell
Fair.
people often.
So you're projecting.
When I was 12,
like
I
therapy.
also
It brought
myself.
really intense shame onto me.
yeah. I was
I don't-
lucky. It was a day that it was so rainy, so everyone was wet. That is true.
Wow. I peed myself as an adult in an elevator going to my apartment, and then I had to go back and mop the elevator.
Were you lit?
No, I just couldn't make it to the bathroom. I just had to go really bad, and then
Jeez.
yeah. And the elevator is really slow.
I peed myself in the hallway in my apartment when I was a kid once because my cousin tickled me, and my mom made me clean it up.
Oh.
And I was like, I will no longer be ticklish anymore. Yeah.
Again, interesting that you didn't use that for your trauma.
I know. I got a lot of trauma.
Okay, we should take
Yeah.
bets.
Take
Okay,
bets.
I think it's real because otherwise you're using the very real experience of people pooping themselves for your own benefit. Question mark?
For my own benefit on this
For
podcast.
comedic benefit. I think it's real.
I don't know if it's real or fake yet, but I wanted to also say share like a message from our other sponsor today,
Imodium?
adultdiapers.com. No, this was not product placement. I think I'm gonna say it's real.
I also think it's real because I know you have a song about eating a slice of pizza and then shitting
That's
yourself.
very true.
So I know you don't have the best intestinal control.
That's hilarious. So it is real. I was a child. My grandma lived in Côte des Neiges.
Oh.
And I was out with my mom and my brother at Jean Coutu. And I'm like, Mom, I have to poop. She's like, go to grandma's, a block away. And I made it to grandma's door. Like, fucking, and as she opened the door, just
So did
shat
you.
myself.
Oh no.
And then, like, again, my grandma's like, you're not naked in front of your grandma as a preteen. You know what I'm saying? And so grandma had to clean me up.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that was the most
How
vulnerable
old were
moment
you?
I've had. Oh God.
21.
No. Can you imagine? I would have been. Let me think, because like my grandma lives there. I was older than 7 because my mom didn't really talk to her family until I was about 7. That's more trauma.
Again, like
I know.
all the things that
Look,
could've
I had
been
a very
trauma.
traumatic childhood. So like probably, I vague memories, but I'm assuming like around before junior high,
Wow.
somewhere in there between like 8 and 12.
Now, can you tell this story again, but in slam poetry?
Oh my God.
Can you give us a slam poem about?
That's amazing.
The sun was shining over me. I didn't realize what it would be. I was strolling down the streets, feeling the cement between my feet as I tried to run away from what was chasing me. The burrito, full of sofrito, was taking me down. But I knew it would not take my crown. As I opened the door, my soul fell to the floor as my bowels, they wanted to explore. Grandma, save me. Mommy, hear me. Daddy, will it ever be? Up the stairs I go. Up the stairs I know. Too late it is. For show.
Wow.
That is incredible.
I think we got a reel for Instagram.
Funny story is that why can't I poop it is actually not real.
Oh, the song that you sing in
No.
your comedy sets?
No, you know how it started? I was walking down the street one day. I probably was high, and I was like, "Wouldn't it be funny if like my boo was about poo, like Usher, my boo?" And that like I was like, "Wouldn't it be a funny song?"
Well, so you're one of those comedians that lies.
No, I just said the whole premise is there's a musical about everything, about love, about meat pies made of human flesh. What if there was a musical about poop
There,
and being depressed in the pandemic, having watched all of Netflix, which we all experience, eating a not just a pizza when you shouldn't, which I think like everyone can relate to, and then realize you can't poop.
okay, there is a musical about pee.
Yes, you're in town.
You're in town.
Yeah.
We did that in high school.
Of course you did.
It's funny because our teacher was like, we're not allowed to do Grease because that's like
I did.
weird, like, I don't know, gender roles or whatever, but let's do You're in Town, which is about peeing.
I did Grease in 6th grade at Catholic school,
Wow.
unedited.
Unedited.
Wow.
I had never heard the musical before because I'm French and Caribbean, but
Right.
Wow.
yeah.
What's You're in Town about?
I think it's about like it's like water wars in the future. Like there's like a water restriction and you have to like, there's so little water that you have to pay money to pee. And so it's all
Wow.
the people like rising up against the like fascist government and like saying
Isn't
we have
that
a right
just
to
like
pee.
I was just-
bathrooms in Europe?
Well, I'm going to say is, do we need a contemporary remake of this right now with all the bathroom?
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, you're in town,
A
but trans.
transgender. Oh my
Transgender
god.
There's a French show in
Really
there for you. Okay, get ready, Six, the musical. You're in town. The reimagining is coming for you.
Her in town. Here. That's too much.
They're in town.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's actually funny because I was supposed to be the lead in You're in Town,
Ooh.
but I said
You were
no.
gonna play the role of P.
But I said no because I was too embarrassed. So I was in the pit band
No.
instead, which is really
Oh.
fun. But
You could have been a leading
I wasn't
lady.
ready for the stage.
The stage wasn't ready for you.
Wow.
Thank you for that.
I got you, boo.
And thank you for that.
I played the donkey in Midsummer in high school,
Mm.
and everyone thought I was a boy.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, donkeys are all boys.
Yeah, and then I remember because a bunch of girls in the grade
Cats are
below
girls, dogs are boys.
had a crush on me, and they were like, "Wow, who names their son?" And then they would bully me for having a girl's name because they thought I was a boy and they had a crush on me. And we'll beep out the name, but
Oh,
Whoa.
so we should bully them back. Ew,
But
you're
it was
mean.
so crazy. It was yeah.
That could be a good title for like a memoir or something.
Your first
Maybe a
comedy
song.
special. I played Louisa Von Trapp in 5th grade,
Wow.
as in The Sound of Music.
Which
Wow.
one is that?
She is. Let me see. I'm Louisa. I'm Brigida.
Yeah.
She's Louisa. I'm 12, and that's it. So that's the great.
Middle low.
Yeah, middle.
Middle low.
Middle.
Did you do any theater in high school, Raquel?
No, I mean, in this Catholic old boys school. No, no,
No Shakespeare with wigs.
no.
No Jesus plays reenactments. Do the
Oh,
Catholics
God.
not
No,
do
not
that?
at all. No, European Catholics are boring and traditional. And no,
Also, Catholicism's already full of theater. Like
So
we used to go to
true.
Mont Saint-Anne in Quebec City, and they do Stations of the Cross for shit. Like that's part of the ritual. So
Mhm.
they're out here, and reenacting shit as
Yeah.
part of the game.
Full head to toe costume.
That's drag.
I've repressed myself all my life. Not all, like you're all like theater kids in one way or another.
Yeah. I have a theater tattoo. It was my first ever tattoo.
No, where?
On my left shoulder.
What is
What
it
does
of?
say?
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you see it?
Oh, like literally a theater.
Lights, sparkling lights.
That is a lot.
I got it.
What a nerd.
I got it with a fake ID when I was 16 years
Oh.
older. Yeah, I got it with a fake ID. It was my first ever tattoo, and it's the last line of the first play I ever did,
Oh.
which was the Laramie Project,
Oh,
which is a really depressing play.
that is a very theater kid thing to do.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Theater kids, slam poetry, comedy.
Jesus.
Jesus. Jesus.
Jesus.
Tie it all together.
You know
That's
who the first comedian was?
It's like how to build a homosexual.
Do you want to build a game? Wow. I don't think I've ever saw the pipeline before. There you go.
There it is.
I was just destined to be in musicals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, is it the comedian pipeline or is it the gay pipeline or is it the gay comedian pipeline?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I guess Raquel is our outlier in terms of data. I mean,
Yeah.
you have the Jesus thing.
I'm barely a comedian too.
I guess, yeah. I feel like, yeah, maybe it's if it's not theater, it's socialism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other path.
Ah.
That's the other path.
It's just okay. So it's Jesus without religion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, socialism. Yeah.
Exactly.
Without the
Exactly.
flashy things.
Yeah.
Well, should we?
Should we sign off?
Well,
say no?
but
What?
hold on, let's be polite to our guest.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Please tell us about if you want to see more of Rose-Ingrid. Do you
Oh.
want to tell us about
Yeah.
your?
I'm Ingrid the Rose on Instagram and on TikTok. I'm trying to be more intentional about creating content right now. It's a weird experiment. So come see me be weird and interesting maybe. I put out a skit last night. It's fucking weird.
And you have your own podcast.
I do. I have 2 of them now.
Wow.
I know.
Showing us
So
up.
youth group rejects is a little bit of this. Actually, we're both late in life queers who grew up in church, and talk shit about VeggieTales and trauma.
Veggie Tales.
Yes. We will have you on the pod. We just talk shit about Hillsong and shit, and
Hillsong, yes.
and our church trauma and therapy, and embarrass our parents. It's great. And then Eldest Immigrant Daughters is more serious. We're just all eldest children of immigrants who were socialized as women. So it's different kind of trauma.
Yeah.
And then just launched Sunday Service, which is a youth group rejects project. It's like a live show and a community pop-up. It features like comedian who maybe one of y'all will come on it one day.
Yeah.
And like some local artists. And we just had 2 shows, one in Montreal, one in Ottawa. And we're going to bring it around Ontario this summer.
It's a live show or
Yeah.
it's okay,
Oh,
cool.
Yeah, but it's like not like a live podcast. It's an actual live show. So the idea is like, think youth group, but like not. So like instead of opening worship, we have had like a burlesque performer or
Nice.
spoken word artist or musician, and then have a comic do like a full set, and we do bits with the audience, and then have like live confessions from folks and riff
Cool.
on them. And then we wanted to bring people together, so we have like local vendors come through, and we're gonna have like flash tattoos and shit like that, and thrift and art.
Awesome.
And
Amazing.
we're coming to a city in Ontario near you because Ontario needs more joy. And that's my shit. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's really cool. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for being
our first
first guest.
ever
Thanks for having
guest.
me. This
is
And
great.
you were
much.
incredible.
This was
Yeah.
fun. Y'all
Yeah.
this is get it. We're out here. Throuples therapy.
Great therapy session.
All right.
Yeah.
I feel processed.
Same.
Should we say goodbye?
Bye.
Bye.
Jesus, he could move the
My God is mighty to save. He is mighty to save. I didn't know. I still remember that. What's
Wow,
the next line?
We didn't sing his cool song.
Da da da. Something of salvation. He died and conquered the grave. Jesus conquered the grave. Oh, and the bridge is like, shine your light and let the whole world see. We're singing for the glory of the risen King. And the drums like, bah, bah, Jesus, shine your light in.
Okay, we did not have. We were like more traditional Protestants. Being like,
Oh no, Hillsong was out
I
here
hear
like
ready
rock band. for
I was
Jesus.
all about the Christian rock.
Or like,
yeah.
Jesus, you are my best friend.
Wow.
You will always be. There's a lot of porno for Jesus too. I stand by it. That's a whole other conversation. We could talk about that another day.
in the Patreon. We'll show the porno
yeah.
for Jesus.
We'll read from Song of Solomon.
Yeah, there's something else I wanted to bring up. Guess I'll have to see you next time. Bye.
Throuples Therapy is a production by the 3 of us. Don't forget to follow us at Throuples Therapy Pod.
And a very special thank you to Little Cashew who helped film this week's episode.